Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday, 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Casual convos, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap it right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every age. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. You know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Casual Convo Show, where we have conversations about topics that affect the communities, personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. I am your host, Coco, and joining me today, of course, I'm the only one for some reason that's cammed up, but we're gonna give Bosco and this, we'll give him a little pass for today. But Bosco is joining us briefly, and then we have the amazing, the creative that will fill in for Bosco when he exits. Is the Jude.
Hey, y'all. Hey, girl. Hey, Bosco.
Yo.
This person is taking me out.
What?
Turn my light up.
I'm good.
There we go.
I'm tired, but I'm good.
All right, so we're going to just jump into, because I guess we got a lot to try to fill in before Bosco got to leave. Mental health check-in. We're going to start off. I'm going to say I'm good. I'm at peace. No, I'm drama-free. I ain't got no problems, no worries. I'm feeling great.
Same here.
I'm good. Tired. Good, but I'm tired. That's all.
Do you have any thoughts today, Bosco, or you want to just get right into it?
No, I got some thoughts.
Okay.
Black people, cook the crap, man. Just cut it. We are divided among gender and colorism. Period. It's like we can't have a discussion without us fighting over color, gender. We hate each other. I say we hate each other because money always divides us. We hate each other because we don't want to agree with each other. We're not allowed to have our opinions. If we disagree, we're called Negro opinions and all these other names. We're called haters because we disagree. We don't like to be challenged. We don't like the research. We need to cut it out. We make up 13% of this nation. We need to stop comparing ourselves to white folks. Don't say white people do it, but then say, why you acting like white people? You can't do that. Forget them. Now, I don't hate white people, but I'm saying we can't be like them because we are put at a different standard than everybody else. We know that. We can look at the media. If a white person do something, say, oh, there's mental health. If we do something, they're thugs. If a white person do something, well, this is what happened. He grew up in a broken home. If a black person did it, he got a bad, he's raised by a single black mother. We are set to a different standard. We need to stop comparing ourselves to them. We are not them. We will never be them. We'll never be put on the same pedestal as them. This is their shit. We got to do our shit and think about our shit. We need to get back to the traditional, like in the 60s. Yeah, we wasn't perfect, but you know what? We're more united then in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even partway through the 90s. Now, we don't even like each other. We got us and we got them. And when I say us and them, I'm like, you got one set, we got us black people, we got those black people. And lastly, black people can be racist. Don't let anyone prove anything different. Black people can be racist. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Stay on. What's a little
sticky? Black people can be racist. We can. Because we hate each other. But I'm done. But yo, let's roll.
Okay, so you got anything?
Wait a minute, my lips sticky.
So we want to skip G right now. She's still getting herself together. So okay. So we just gonna have a general open discussion about some things that's been like percolating throughout the media, things like that. So I guess pretty much we're gonna have a discussion like we normally would, how it affects
South
our
Africa.
communities, also resolutions. Um,
South Africa.
next up accountability. Just have an organic conversation like we always do.
South
Okay.
Africa.
And we kind of started this conversation before everything started. I know it's been well probably old to some, but because we've been doing the Q&A and doing other stuff throughout the last couple of weeks, it's still something that's been brewing. So everybody's familiar with the whole Shannon Sharpe situation, right?
Woo, yeah.
So Shannon Sharpe, I don't think I need to brief anyone on what's going on with him. But however, his situation over the last couple of days, from what I've been seeing, you guys might have seen a little bit longer. Um, Tracy Ellis Ross did like an interview, and she made a statement of her preference of younger men based on her experience with dating older men or men her age who were toxic. But it's the comparison. So there's been like a lot of things. Jude and I are comment readers. We got that understood today.
Me
So
too.
I
Me
guess
too.
what I would say to that, there are some mixed feelings. Um, but I want to get your thoughts, and I'll kind of go last.
Okay. I hear Tracy Ellis Ross' point about people being toxic, but I agree. But we've been saying that for the longest too. But like I said off air, when we mention that, we're called pedophiles. Why are you looking for a younger woman? Because, like Tracy Ellis Ross said, older men could be toxic. Same thing, older women could be toxic because we all get set in our ways, whether male or female. But like I said, there's a double standard with that because we get hit, and like I said off air, I got heat for that. I
My
got heat
echoing.
for it. It might be me, but I'm outside.
Okay.
I got heat for it, but I'm like, well, why? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think at a certain, like me, I wouldn't date anyone in their teens at all. I wouldn't even look that way. I wouldn't look at anyone under 25. And even the 28-year-old chick I was dealing with, she came at me. She had a boyfriend. And I was like, I don't know. She said, I need a sugar daddy. I said, all right, but she wanted me being more than a sugar daddy. I said, nah, that's not what we talked about. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just think, I don't know.
I think
Each his own.
Tracy Tracy is entitled to date who she wants. He
Right.
said
Exactly.
younger, and
Hmm.
that's the narrative I hear a lot of the men saying. There was a whole thread on these medias about men not wanting the reason why they dated younger. Even some of the younger men chimed in on that, like why they choose to date younger versus dating older women. People got plenty of different reasons, to do it. Stella proved that, point, how Stella got a groove back. Think about it. Miss Angela Bassett set the tone, She went from the overbearing husband and why the food, I mean, now, what is it? What's love got to do with it? To she exhaled and then she got a groove back. You feel me? And it's nothing wrong with a woman dating young. It's like it's nothing wrong with a man dating younger. I think that people get we all turn our nose when it's a certain type of gap. Like me, my age, I couldn't see myself dating somebody like 18, 19, not even 21. So we don't have anything in common. You are now at this point the age of like my nieces and my nephews, and like when people are dating people their children age. You feel me? Like that do come off like a little weird. But however, people tend to be attracted to. I do get a little creeped out by that sometimes, though. I personally like, why are you looking at that child? You feel me? Because you shouldn't find a child attractive. Because to us, the older you get, you still look at certain age ranges as a child. That's a child to you. That's a child. That's off limits. Now, as far as the Shannon Sharp thing. Now, this what comes this fine line between you being a legal adult. You feel me? Like, yes, he's an older man, but she legally gave consent as an adult to deal with him. And we may not like that, but she was young. When I was in high school, there were grown men driving around the high school trying to pick up high school girls, and we were
Hmm.
in high school. You feel me? And so I'm just saying, like that's always been the way. And life for real, people tend to like younger people, but I feel like when you are 18, you have young girls who be 18 and they like older people, and they get criticized too by school because there was a young girl, I think she was a white girl who dated
Hmm.
who was like 18, and she like dated this
Hmm.
like 80-something-year-old rich man, and they all over. He like the Mr. Still Your Grandpa for real.
Is
Hmm.
that
And
Kamora daughter you talking about?
I
I think
can't
she is.
remember. I can't remember, but I just remember, like, I was seeing the young girls dating them. People had a lot of negative things to say about that. I hate this damn
Hmm.
camera thing. It just keep moving. Um, it's fucking with my eyes, man. Y'all don't see me like, but
Now you
yeah,
straight.
nah, for real, like, people, she got hella criticism over that too. I feel like, it's
Ooh,
it's to
okay.
each his
You,
own. Sorry, y'all. That's
yeah.
that's the
You all
that's
right?
the
You
smoke sitting
good?
in my lung. Yeah, it's
You
just
good?
sitting there. It was sitting there. Excuse me. Paul know what it was. It's sitting there. And look, I listen. I could probably blow in your face. You could probably get high off of me with the other weed in my
Yeah,
system.
I'm all for that. Let's go.
No bullshit. But nah. I feel like it's the person's preference. Everybody frown their face up at it, but when you are a legal adult by law,
Hmm.
and you choose that young person chose to date that older person. You feel me?
Right,
They
right.
get called
Yeah.
what they call Coco. Um,
Who?
when you
Predator.
date no when you date when you young and you dating somebody older, and they be like, oh, you just in it for the money or gold
You're,
digger.
Gold digger.
you're a gold
You
digger
feel me?
or you a
The
bad
younger
bitch.
people get it the same, like whatever too. But
Hmm.
Tracy, date them all, baby, until you find the one that's for
I
you.
agree. I
And
agree.
Shannon, stop paying for it. It's too many of
Shannon
them
got to
out
stop,
here.
Shannon,
man.
I
Shannon got
think
to stop.
Shannon got comfortable. But hey, Paul,
Shannon got
I'm
to stop.
sorry. Welcome.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Um,
Yeah, I pull.
I think
Shannon got to stop.
I agree with both of y'all. I hate the comparison thing because I agree with Jude and I agree with Vasco. Date who you want, but I think even like take the race out of it. I think when
Yeah.
people saw her, I think you know how some people look mature, allegedly. She looked very young, and I think the key words and a lot of things like Vasco said, she pursued him. You pursue her, and people are looking at it like she looked real young and like a child, and and she was tricking. He paid, okay, fine. But to compare
Hmm.
that to Tracy, Shannon is being accused of rape and some more
Yeah.
stuff. Whereas though Tracy is just like my preference of who I want to date and have a partnership with, not pay for
I
Yeah,
sex,
like that.
not do
I'm
all
cool with
these
that.
things. Is with a younger being, and I understand that. I mean, from her experience, which was
Hmm.
going to probably go into our next questions later.
Hmm.
From her experience, if she's had bad experiences, she want to switch it up a little bit. I think that's okay. Sure, her mother did it too, but it's
I
always
agree.
been this stigma and this what is it called? This what's the word? I begin with a C. This
Oh,
contradiction when
oh,
it
okay.
comes to
oh,
like men and women. And we had that conversation too of women who choose to date younger. What the boys get, oh, she old, she this that and the third. Everybody have difference of preferences. So who's to say that? I agree with you. She's of legal age, but
mhm,
she's also a minor. Then I was also watching something else, and they made a good point. What if that
mhm,
wasn't Shannon Sharpe? The average time, now all of us up here have children or whatever. Your
mhm.
19-year-old bring home a damn near 60-year-old man. He ain't Shannon Sharpe. We gonna all be looking like what the fuck going? You know what I mean?
Hey,
You gonna have a problem with
Yeah,
this man. But she brought home Shannon Sharpe. He's a millionaire. He has a certain status. He can get her into rooms, things like that. So it's all acceptable of who the person is. And I
I
think
agree.
that also played a part in it as well. So we also got to think about who we're talking about, But
Mhm,
in our society, and now we all know we can.
mhm. I agree. No, I'm
Oh,
with
you
you
mean?
100%.
Oh, you mean?
I'm
You
with you
mean?
100%.
You mean broke people worry about rich people problems?
No, we not. We having an intellectual conversation. Sorry, you came in at the end. Paul,
That's basically what you're
Paul,
saying.
no,
Hey,
So,
hey,
I,
but
so,
no,
this,
but it's
Coco,
so
very
this,
relatable to what we've been
hey,
having.
Coco,
Hmm?
Coco. But what did I say off air about the broke and the rich? And what I said?
Yeah.
What I
So
say?
and I had this conversation. I told my homegirl, I said, you asking the rich is amoral anyway.
You said say that again. I didn't hear you.
I said being rich is amoral. You know what I'm saying? It's amoral.
Oh, okay.
I told her, I said, think about it. If you got 100 and you hit the lottery for like $220 million, will you take care of your whole entire family? That means aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody.
Before you
To
And
go,
my family, if you watching this, no.
right, so that's what I'm saying.
wait,
So
I'm trying to keep
Fuck.
that same energy you been had.
Mike,
right,
before you,
so
We
hold
still
on. I'm trying
distant.
to keep some order. So, Mike, before
We still
Mike go,
distant.
because you came in kind of late. Paul didn't go yet, and then I'm gonna let
oh
you go.
okay, yeah.
You might be a little longer.
I'm not. This is gonna be short. I had this discussion early today.
Well,
I some
my good evening. Good evening.
Mike
First of
said,
all, I
Yo,
"Go
what's
want to
up,
ahead,
know.
G?
play."
First of all, I want to ask: has anybody spoken with Karen? What's Karen's house? Is that Karen's name?
Hensley. Now, I haven't spoken to him in a while since her son died.
Okay.
It's been
Well,
about
I
a week ago.
want to. She out there listening. Well, I want to tell her my prayers and love with her. Thinking
Oh
about
yeah,
her.
no doubt, no doubt.
Okay. But my thing with that is, I could see myself interested in a woman that's 40 and up. That's
Right,
my age.
right,
But below 40, that's like, it's just not, no, it's not there. Not, I just don't see it. I don't know why. It's a difference between 39 and 40. It's just a difference
right,
there for some reason.
right.
I was talking to this
Mhm.
woman. She's 39 when I started talking to her, just kicking it with her and everything. And, I ain't think nothing about it. But then when she turned 40, then came something different. And I said, well, still, I don't know. But
Mhm.
20 something
Yeah,
for me, no, that's way too young, man. That's younger than my kids, and I can't do that. And
right.
Shannon out here busy trying to prove that he ain't gay or something. He out here, he
I
know
said
better than that
that.
shit, man. You out
I
here
said
tricking these
that.
little young ass, big ass white girls. You out here looking at YouTube or wherever the hell you see these ugly little white girls at. You out here flipping the script. And I can just see his big black ass all muscled up and shit choking a little white girl. Yeah. Yeah, I know you like it. I know you like it. This for the ancestors. This for the ancestors. I'm doing this for the ancestors. All that shit,
all
man.
for the
Yeah.
win.
And he done got caught up though. He done got caught up. I know somewhere Skip Bayless sitting somewhere laughing his head off.
You know he
I know
is.
he's somewhere laughing his head
He's
off.
at home like,
You know,
But ain't
skip
nobody saying
dying.
nothing. Ain't nobody saying nothing about Bill Belichick with that 20-year-old he with. His ass 72 years old.
I
74,
mean,
75.
ain't
Something
nobody
like
saying
that.
nothing about Al Pacino having a baby with a 20-something-year-old. So
Yes, I'm
and
saying
he's
somebody saying about
95.
Kamora Lee Simmons' daughter dating that man, what, 70 something? They
Yep.
was on
You know,
nobody,
somewhere around there.
Hmm.
down.
nobody said nothing about R. Kelly
That's
with
what
Aaliyah.
we
So I'm just saying,
yeah.
when you cross that line, when you a
Yeah,
black man, you cross that line into that white woman world, and you cross with one of them young women like that, they gonna look at you a whole
mhm.
lot different.
Yeah, that's on Shannon.
Like I
Shannon messed
said,
that up.
nobody really said much about R. Kelly when he was married to Aaliyah. They said, what? Oh, he was? Man, wow. But then y'all act surprised when he around here pissing on little kids. You know the man's in the girl. So I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy, but yeah.
The way I just tried not to laugh.
I
I
said,
know, man. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. I couldn't, I
All
couldn't
right,
help
all right.
it.
Hey, look, y'all ready? This is
I,
gonna be real
when
short. It's gonna be real short. I had this conversation when I came in the house, and I proved everybody wrong. So my question was, how can
Mhm.
you expect morals from a person that's amoral? Because
Right.
being rich make you amoral. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I asked the
Makes sense.
question early on. If you win like 250 million, will you take care of your whole entire family? Because
Right.
that would be moral and decent to do.
Mhm.
Everybody pick and choose. Everybody pick and choose what they're gonna do. Same as when dating. What what
Mhm.
what what happens with rich people is that rich people can entice anybody
Yep.
because money holds power. I can't say if it's right or
Mhm.
wrong because I ain't had that type of money. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? I don't know what
can't
that
leave a
money
night.
I don't know what that money can make a person do. But what I do understand is that everybody has a say so when
Mhm.
she is grown. And it
Yep.
depends, and this how it works. So most people don't even know that most consenting ages of states are different.
Mhm.
So you can talk all this other stuff, but if you go to Oklahoma, If a girl 15 to consent, you can do whatever you want. Does that make it right? No.
Right.
But to who though? You see what I'm
That's
saying?
amoral.
Yes, it's an amoral thing. It's amoral. It's like you want somebody to say, "Well, damn, I got all this money and I can sleep with any woman." I'm talking about any woman.
Mhm. You know who thought of that, Mike? The founding fathers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they
The
did.
And
men's,
Jude,
That's a
the
damn
men's.
pervert.
Mm-hmm.
here we
Well,
go.
can I just say something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
You know, baby, I love you, but you know what type time we on. If there's any older lesbian who out there who doing take
Enrich.
advantage, enrich,
Enrich. Right.
enrich. My name is Jude.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, you know what?
Hello,
Hey,
hi.
you know
I
what?
have
The
a
way I look at it,
girlfriend. She's okay with that.
She's okay with that just
But
for
hey,
hold
one
up,
night.
is that why she came up on him real cute tonight? Because she was okay.
Listen, I had to let them know. Hello, any old women that want to take advantage of me
Mm-hmm.
and pay me to do
And
it.
pay me to do it.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
well, yeah, I see the age
He's
thing.
like,
Like,
I'm joking, y'all.
Yeah, but never gonna be choking with them. I ain't into that
No,
shit.
hey,
don't choke me.
You
I'm
choking
from
me.
Baltimore. You can't choke me.
I'll punch the
right?
hell out of you. Women or
Hey,
not, don't be
hey,
choking me.
hey,
You
it's
might
like,
think we fighting.
hey,
I'm sorry
like
about that.
with the age thing.
No comment.
I mean, the way, hey, somebody need to,
Turn them
everybody
out.
mute for a second. Somebody got a mute. Okay, with the age, I couldn't date nobody that young. I couldn't myself. I just couldn't. It's legal, but the way I see it is
They call me
come
to get
on,
you
homie.
out.
Like, come on, homie. You can. Yeah, 18. Yeah. With Shannon, Shannon messed himself up. The girl was real young. I know. I mean, who you pick is who you choose. That's your business. But you better have your shit right because you're gonna end up like Shannon. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I keep telling you, that's not the thing for a black man, especially not with the little white women or whatever. That's the
Mm-mm.
thing. Don't
I
you
couldn't do it.
realize that they used to hang motherfuckers for just looking at them at that age back then?
Just
No
looking
matter
at
how
them.
old the black man was.
Yeah, I
You don't
can't
do
do it.
that till you got too old. I mean, they already scared of him because they say, damn, look at him. He built like a damn tank. They
Yeah, I
scared of
can't
him.
do it. Yeah,
He
I can't do
loud,
it.
boisterous. The typical, should we say, typical Negro.
Negro,
I mean,
say
shit,
it.
keep it real.
Oh,
Keep it
Shannon.
real.
Say it.
Shannon
Say
is
it.
a rich auntie.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I ain't never seen one. He sit on that chair. He sit on that chair and hold all the gossip, get all the juice out.
Yeah,
Yeah. Listen,
And
I
talking
couldn't
Shannon.
all
do
I
it.
sweet with
mean,
his old
I
feelings.
I
mean,
I
don't
couldn't
want to
do it.
say it, but
But now
I
we
know
can
an
fight
they,
it. That's
undercover
how
one.
people
He
feel.
might be bisexual.
they gotta understand we can never do what they do. They gotta understand
Thank,
that. Hugh
thank
Hefner
you,
and them
Paul.
done it. Elvis and them done it. Jerry Lee Lewis, all them guys, Liberace, all whatever, all them guys done that with them little young girls, Conway Twitty, whatever name, Loretta Lynn,
But yep.
all them younger white girls with them older white men, and nobody said nothing about it. They had to run a few of their asses out of the country or whatnot, like Roman Polanski, somebody like that. But the rest of them, they didn't do nothing
Mm-hmm.
about that. But
Nope.
when it comes to
And
these
Paul,
black men, I'm telling you, when it comes to the black
Paul,
man,
Paul, that's what I've been saying. Why are we trying to be like them? We
right?
are on a we on a different channel. Where we keep saying, well, white people do it, right? We keep saying that shit. I'm like, shut up. You
That's
know,
the crux.
shut up. Stop. Yeah, stop comparing. Stop comparing. We are not the same people. But then in the same sentence, it's like, why are you trying to be like them? I'm like, we, it, we're hypocrite. We're hypocrite. We are very. It's that selective outrage. It's all that stuff.
It ain't our fault though, because the Africans don't want us either, but we'll talk about
They don't
that
want us
later.
either. Yeah, they don't want us either.
It ain't
They
our
say y'all
fault.
some weak ass mother. They say them some weak ass people over there. What the hell we want
But
them over
this
here for?
no, but this is what happens though. So
That's what they think.
Hold on, before you
so
do that, because I'm correct out of order. I'm
yeah,
trying to
What happened?
get them
all right,
all
but
in.
go
And
for
then
What
it.
we
happened?
might get a back. You're gonna be quick,
What
or you
happened?
got a little bit?
No, this is quick. I
No,
told
Mike.
you, I ain't talking about this no more. I talked about it all day.
Okay.
We can't get
What's up?
blindsided by rich people shit. Like right now in Ghana,
No.
the Ghanese people just let African Americans build a whole community,
Mm-hmm.
and the Ghana
Didn't they?
and the Ghana people upset. They said,
So
"How
what
the
they got
hell?"
going on over in Algeria?
Because what they did was that they allowed black people to come in and build a whole segregated community, and they pissed.
They pissed off. Yep. Yep.
So they're going
Yep.
back to Africa, shit, some bullshit. All they want is the money.
Exactly. All they want the money. That's it.
Hello.
All they want the money.
Okay. So
Go ahead, Coco.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go a little bit off topic. So I'm not really trying to cut y'all off, but I'm trying to go in a little bit
Oh,
of.
you
I'm not
straight?
gonna go in order, but I'm going with the flow of the conversation. But I'm trying to get everything in. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So Jerry, you got the thing. So I'm gonna skip one and go to the other one, then I'm gonna come back. So this was mentioned to me by somebody I work with, and it was like, why do people get upset over another person's point of view or perspective that differs from their own, especially on social media? Who would like to
You
go
mean black
first?
people, right?
No. This is just
People in
people in
general.
general. It wasn't
Oh,
specified
I'll be
because.
facetious. I'll be facetious.
Oh yeah, and
Well, I'll
no,
be
it
quick
wasn't
and
a,
short.
and it
I'll be
wasn't
quick
a,
and
it
short.
wasn't a black person, huh?
Okay, I'll be quick and short because people can hide behind them keyboards and don't like to be wrong. You got people that
Oh
think they are
yeah.
so right about everything, and then when they find out that they're wrong, they can't admit it. They won't admit it, so they continue into
Oh
the
yeah.
ignorance and they draw people into it. But you know, social media is what it is. Until I mean, there's nothing that you can really do. Spit back
Nope.
at their ass, spit back at their ass, or ignore them. Sometimes it's fun
Mm-hmm.
just to challenge them because they got a limited excuse me, vocabulary, comprehension
Mm-hmm.
skills, education, whatever. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
fun to challenge them sometimes because they think they know so damn much. But that's what it is. I mean,
Yep.
you deal with it, laugh, go on, move about. Fuck it.
What Paul said. Next.
You know,
I agree with Paul. 100%.
one time I was on Facebook and I was agreeing with this gay guy
Mm-hmm.
because this guy had said something cruel about him, and I kind of um
Got busy.
agreed to disagree with him, as to be honest, agreed to
Mm-hmm.
disagree, and he came back and called me a B. He's black, I
What
was
the guy?
black.
With the gay guy?
Yeah, called me a B, and
He got the
how
so
you?
nerve.
And I went back and was like, well, oh, he said, because I said, Dad, you ain't had to say it like that, brother. He's like, I'm not your brother, B. And I was like, well,
Damn.
clearly not, and I said the F word. I said,
Yeah.
I thought about it, was like, we ain't gonna go back and forth like that, I kind of got out of it, but I realized them comments is a motherfucker. The post itself is the clickbait to get you to go
Mm-hmm.
and like to have differences, and we're entitled to have differences as people. People are gonna have a different opinion on things.
Right.
It's just that
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to social media, people, like Paul said, hide behind them keyboards, and there's now things that you can make yourself anonymously post,
Yeah.
and everybody is famously anonymous, and it makes you feel more powerful. Where you can, it's like speaking up, and nobody have to know who you are, because the moment they find out who you are, it's a cancel culture. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
um I think this is just like the people way to do it, not even the American way, the people way.
You know how I deal with people like that, dude? Like when I see somebody make a crazy comment, first thing I do, if they don't have a picture on their profile, I don't even comment. But then if they do have one, I click their profile to see how many posts they put up. I see no posts on their wall. Like someone made this account just to say some shit. I don't even respond to it. And I tell people, I said, always check the account because a lot of accounts, like I see a lot of accounts, like the Angel Reese account. It's a lot of fake ones, and a lot of them not even from America. And I keep trying to tell. I said, dude, these guys. I said, I talk shit about Angel Reese, but I be clowning. But I tell them, I said, dude, this page is saying shit just to get a rise out of you guys. It's fake. And the next thing you know, that same page sent me a Facebook request. Angel Reese. I'm like, this ain't no damn Angel Reese. And I got another one. Angel Reese official profile. No profile pic. I said, this ain't Angel Reese. But niggas on there, hey, Asian race. I said, that ain't Asian race. That's a fake profile. Half of them come from freaking Africa.
It's Angel
Africa.
Rice.
Africa.
That's what that is. Angel Rice.
Yeah, Asian rice or angle, as the one came Angle, angle Reese. You know, I'm like, I don't get into it with them because I'm like, they're fake pages, and they trying to get people, and they just go for it. Like,
Mike.
and they be from Africa. Them Africans.
So
Them damn
I didn't
Africans.
get a lot of friend requests from Africa.
so
No.
so everything is social media is one of the most dumbest places in the world.
Yeah.
Only because we are mixed in together. So you know the slow people you went to school with. Now all of a sudden they got a
Mhm.
voice.
Now their voice. Yeah.
So if you sit on social media arguing with people that you don't even know the educational background, you kind of make yourself look
Right.
bad.
Yep.
But I understand that everybody wants to defend their ideology instead of just walking away. Even if it sounds stupid, it's just give them something to
Mhm.
type about, be argue about, make a video about, and get likes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yeah,
my
but
take.
how
Yup.
fucking bored do you got to be to just sit home and just start shit on the internet?
They ain't
It's
got
real
wives. They
bored.
ain't got.
People
Very
have
They ain't
bored.
got husbands. They ain't got
social
You
husbands,
gotta
media,
be
wives,
G.I.
girlfriend,
Joe
boyfriend.
board and shit.
but the
You gotta
But
internet.
just
you gotta be G.I. Joe board sitting around playing with a damn G.I. Joe board. That's how bored you gotta be.
Damn Africans.
Oh, did you go?
Yes,
we
I went
can't hear you.
already.
I can't hear you, Coco.
No, I'm
Damn
saying,
Africans.
oh, did you go?
Yes, I went. You know, I went first.
All right, so I'm gonna give my little take on it. When it comes to people getting upset at other people's
Thank you, though,
perspective,
dog.
what I notice is a lot of people, and I think I've said it before, have one way of thinking and they don't want to see another person's perspective.
Hmm.
And I think it was me and you had the conversation earlier when it comes to how I receive something or interpret something could be different from everybody up here. Does that make it wrong? No, not typically. But then we
Right.
also we tend to get away from culture, not meaning race or ethnicity, but the culture
Right.
of our environments. Like we can all be from different places, different homes, different things. Maybe why we see things in a different light.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
always make it wrong. Just because I don't agree with what you're saying, don't mean I'm beefing with you. So we
Right.
also have to get out of that mindset of, oh, my way is right, your way is wrong. That's not always true, and that may be right for you. And then you have some people that function well in the wrong. What's the saying?
You.
I think I said it earlier to Jude. What's the saying? People be like, it's easier to live wrong or do wrong than be right. So you have people that really function in that space. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's going to be that difference of opinion and perspective. But when we get into these realms of where we're trying to correct somebody or tell somebody how to think, we're supposed to allegedly be in a country where you're supposed to be able to free think and have an opinion or have freedom of speech. But you want to tell somebody
Allegedly.
how they should think and how they should talk. Make that make sense.
And be sensitive at the same time because the fucking world is so
Uh-huh.
sensitive.
Right.
Oh my
Like
goodness. Yeah.
it's a
Well, see, I
sensitive
find most of
culture.
my victims. I hate to say that, but that's what it is. I find most of my victims on the Asheville Police Department page, on the WLOS News page,
Oh
and on the
man.
Asheville Citizen Times page. Because see
Yeah.
now, since they don't lock you up in Facebook jail when you respond to these dumbasses on there, I enjoy shutting
Hmm.
their asses down. Because they get on there and make
Oh hell
stupid
yeah.
comments. They say something, when you say something back to them, they disappear. I love doing that. I had a couple of
I
niggas
love it.
delete the whole comment. Yeah, delete that shit then. That's what you do. Don't get with that bullshit because now I can say I want to say that to you. They not lock me up. But yeah, I still stay away
Oh,
from the
that's
white
my
group
life.
pages. I don't go outside my perimeter as far as mingling on pages on there. I stay in my community. But yeah,
Oh,
And that's
not
I've
me. I
said
just the opposite.
that a lot. I'm not about to get upset over somebody else's post. And if it's something that's not for me to comment on, or if that's their thing, I'm not
Right.
going to take time to type or get upset. First of all, I'm not even getting upset over somebody's post.
Yeah.
I ain't even barely getting upset off of something that you say in real life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like for instance, I could say something up here, and I said it before. I get crazy DMs. Okay, talk to me, but talk to me nicely. And it's a thing of, okay, we can have a conversation about it, or you can say what you guys say, and it is. But I'm not about to do that with you because you probably won't even say it to my face. So why would we even go there?
Hey, Coco, I had that situation with your favorite friend the other day, 2 days ago. You know what I'm talking about? The one that lives down the bayou.
Oh God.
Well, no, I didn't say anything crazy. I didn't say nothing crazy.
You sure?
They're like, no, I swear I didn't. This is what happened. The person posted about a parent helping the child do this. I said, yep. I said, but it's good to be independent as well. Then that person said, yeah, but my parents getting somewhere. Da, da, da. I said, that's cool. I said, I'm not saying that's wrong. I said, but you know what's even better? When that person finds their own path, rather than the person leading them a path that the person wants them to go.
Mhm.
And it became whatever, and I just said, oh, time to go. Time to go.
See, I don't really get on other people. I got on Mike post that one time. He
I
knew
was-
I was gonna say something.
Yep.
I get on. I don't really. I see stuff and I just be like, whatever. I do stuff out of fun and games. Like I can do stuff like that. Like I can take stuff like that. But if I was to post something, Mike can see it. One of y'all can see it. Come. We can laugh, joke, back forth. But don't come on my
I
post
live.
being disrespectful because I don't do that. You
Right.
feel me? That's when
And
you might see me.
see,
You feel me?
yeah,
I
and see,
might.
that's what I mean.
That's what I'm
Yeah, 'cause I
saying.
just said,
Exactly that. Don't do
yeah,
that because that'll get you checked. I
that's
don't care where you
right,
at. I
Yeah,
don't care
because
who
right. And the
you
only
are.
thing,
yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. You can say what you want. I'm
right.
even here for that. I'm even here for your opinion. I'll leave it up.
Yeah,
But
like I said, the only thing I
do
said
not
was
start
it's
getting
good to be independent.
disrespectful. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
So
I
I
just said it's good to be independent.
so I'm different
And
than y'all. So I'm a troll on my page.
me too.
So
yes,
I done
we
made
are.
I done made I
So
done made 8 people. I made 8 girls disappear off my page just by posting them action figures.
Oh my goodness,
And the
Mike,
funniest
let
thing
me hold
is
up,
that
Mike. I got
It's all good. Holla.
you. They were gold.
so and
a
it was
pain in the
weird.
ass you
Yeah,
are.
but no, but the most interesting thing is I realized that women didn't read the one post of when she had all the kids.
Uh huh.
I was trying to see, do women go off pictures or do they actually read? And
Right.
everybody attacked the picture. I like you didn't even see what I read. All I
You know,
said
a
was,
lot of people
you'll
really,
make sure you get them, huh?
a lot of people really can't read. I mean, just because people
I
know the
learned
words,
that.
they don't mean
Yeah.
they can
Right.
read. And then also the flip side to that is
It's
a
triggering.
hit dog a holler.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
It's all
triggering.
right.
It was so weird
If
Yep.
because
the shoe fits,
me and Jude was rolling. Like the one I posted about, not talking to a chick that smoke weed. My
right.
inbox was on
Yeah.
fire.
I was dying.
I was
I
laughing.
was
Like
dying.
I was waiting for Jude to come because we had already talked about this on the show.
You're right.
So when Jude came, I was just like, yeah, we talked about this, right?
Listen, I
Yeah.
started to post a picture of hitting the blunt under the thing, like.
Yeah. And 4 girls deleted themselves. Said, Mike, you be
For what
bashing
though? For what? Like that's
because
stupid.
they really think that whatever men post on their pages
They hate. We hate women.
give them the right to think I'm bashing women.
Can we stop
Yes.
doing that? Can I just ask one question? Can we stop doing that? Because I think everybody up here has seen it on both sides of the spectrum. It ain't just
Right.
women.
But but
Yeah.
but but
No,
but
it's
the,
not.
but the, but the
What's
People.
the point we're
victim,
making?
yeah, the victim is the
I
woman.
get
Like I was like, what?
okay.
I even had to defend myself. I put a post up, and everybody was like, Mike, I never see you do that. You're an equal opportunist. Yes. I just found these 3 things that was funny. I ain't never seen them. So I posted them.
Yeah, I love it.
I post all type of stuff on my page. It don't matter. You gonna get a little bit of everything on it.
Yeah.
Just
That's
a little
all
bit of
I do.
everything. You might get offended. You might not. You might, I don't really, I'm
Give
about to
a
start
fuck.
talking about the president though.
Do what you do.
That's why I'm ready to probably get banned because I'm ready to start talking about his ass. That's
Yeah.
okay though.
Oh,
That's okay though. A little band ain't never stopped a little black woman.
you.
You know, origin, man.
We'll
You
stop
know, he done lost his
nothing.
origins. He don't even have his origins no more.
Yeah,
The
right.
damn the White House killing him, boy. That White House,
They,
you get that White House. I noticed something about being in that White House. That White
yeah, that
House
shit was
aged
a
the hell
joke.
out of him.
That shit
It's
ain't
like
no
that
joke,
White House
boy.
get you in there and drain the hell out of you, take your blood and
Yep.
everything, drain it.
Listen,
Everybody come out. Did you see how old
Pale
Obama
like a
looked when he came out
vampire.
after 8 years? Did
He had
y'all
a
notice
whole
how old
gray hair,
Obama
gray
looked when
hair.
he
The
came out
stress of
after
all
8
of them
years?
people and the world coming at you at one time, I can only imagine.
Boy, yeah. That shit
Especially
drains you.
then you got to deal. Then oh man, okay, so I'm gonna go to the next
He
one.
gonna make the
How
Simpsons come
y'all
too.
how y'all feel about the tariff?
About who? The tariffs?
Yeah,
Well, I I'll put it this way. Uh, freaking Sprite here is $3.49 for a 12 ounce. That'll tell you what I feel. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I think they need to be tariffs because a lot of countries have been getting away with murder, but I think he jacked them up too high to where it's going to really affect us. That's just my opinion.
Okay, can I talk?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
yeah. I just asked that everybody just go at one time. That's all.
Okay, yeah. So I'll raise my hand like usual. So
No, if
I'm
it's like I just don't want dead space. So if you know it's a pause, just go for it.
okay. So I'm good with the tariffs. Internationally, I'm great with them. I think the trade war should have continued to happen, but Biden ended up being too worried about his son having cocaine and a gun in office. When they actually did the national tariffs to see how much they was raping us, like having to pay 99% just to get our imports in and then stiffen us. No, we had to get it right. Because internationally, if you look at our trade market, you say, well, we can't bring a car in unless we cover 67% of it. That's impossible. And then you come back and we give you 10 to 30%, and you say, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, it was unjust, especially based on the GDP. We needed to really prove that we're a country that's in the global market trading, and we wasn't. So I'm done.
Mike,
Yeah.
I'm glad you up here. Hold on. I've been meaning to ask you something.
Go for it.
How you feel about Trump now? Because I remember at one time that
Oh,
was
I'm
your
oh
way.
Oh,
listen. I took an oath to support my president. That's that. I took an oath to support my president. That's all you need to know. In my line of work,
I
yes,
ain't saying nothing because at the end of the day,
I
listen,
love him. I love every. I love. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I love everything about what Trump doing. For those who don't work in federal spaces, need to shut the fuck up. I love what he doing in federal spaces.
even the people
Um,
mm,
that lost their jobs.
I love
my
exactly
brother.
what he doing. He's cutting the fat.
Mm.
I don't
Like
know.
if
My
you don't,
brother was
like if you don't,
working
like if
10.
you don't,
He
like if
about to
you don't
retire, and
work.
they fired. They got rid of
Yeah,
him.
if you've never worked in the federal office, you've never worked in the DOD, you've never worked for the DOJ, you never worked for the CIA, the Pentagon, or NSA, please sit down. You have no leg in this fight.
Oh, you're very different. You
For,
know, the
for
person
all
that I
the
know that
for
worked there that say
yes,
that.
for all the ones who've been there, we good. Where we at? Because
Oh,
we
that's
know
where you back
exactly
at now.
me.
Mm.
I'm back in the NAP. Well, yeah, I'm back in NSA. So if you know what the culture was like, then you understand this was needed. Because some of them people should have retired years ago. Second of
But what
all,
about the people that wasn't at retirement age?
they was in the department that was no longer needed.
Mm.
See, because the thing did, like I said, when Clinton did it, I didn't feel it. When Clinton ended up combining the FBI and the ATF and all that together, and ended up trimming stuff down, I was old enough to feel that type of pain. Now that I'm aware of exactly what needed to be done, of course, that's why the FBI moving into Maryland. People don't even know they built a whole building for them. So it's about to be a whole trick bag real soon for everybody who out there think they're gonna be selling weed and all that shit. They about to lock the whole city down, both cities.
Well, I hope you stay good and he don't feel like your department needs to be getting rid of because
I
that'll
mean, I mean,
drain you.
I'm a federal contractor. I'm null and void on it. I don't exist on his radar. He dealing with just
I
the
don't get no fuck.
civilians. Yeah, so he's dealing with the civilians. That's what I keep trying to tell people. If you're a federal contractor, man, we good where we at. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But if you went into the federal government and you decided that right now that you wanted to take one cushy job and you went through all that goofy shit and then you wasn't coming into work, And then he just issued a DHA to come in. Them people sleeping. Them people pissed off. They ain't been in the office, nor did they even worried about. So this is what's happening, and this is the most important thing. You have the federal government pays for federal buildings, no matter if they in there or not.
After that goes way back the whole break.
Yeah. So whether you go to the government building or not, they still pay for the property. So you're paying for government commercial property. So think about COVID, they lost billions of dollars because everybody was allowed to go home. They didn't take it upon themselves to build new buildings, and even in Social Security, they didn't take it upon themselves to build new buildings at all. DHS, they didn't take it upon to build the new building they end up condemning because everybody was home. But based on the federal revenue, and you looking to try to make some money back, what you gonna do? You're gonna order the federal civilians to come back to work because they are the only ones that can actually do remote jobs. So you're looking at the contractor can't do a remote job. You know what I'm saying?
You was working remote before though, weren't you?
Yeah, but OPM said it has to be justified. See, it's a whole bunch of layers. There's layers and layers. This ain't just like, as I said, until you work in this type of environment, you won't see the waste.
My brother needed to come on the show.
Well, you know, I just
I
want to say, can I just say one thing before I answer the question? It does affect all of us, not just the federal workers, because we, as United States citizens, anything that happens, you know, it affects all of us. I work in healthcare, and it's even affecting healthcare. Though most people don't give a shit about healthcare, but I know that a lot of people need healthcare. And if we go to war, we're gonna need healthcare. If we start getting sick with some of this food, like I just bought meat the other day, and I feel like it was bad. We got sick in my house. And the expiration date is still not even up yet. You know, you feel me? So it's just like shit to be more aware about. That some of us are aware about. A lot of people ain't, but more people are than we realize it. But to say is, if you don't work for the federal government, because the shit that he's doing ain't only affecting the federal government.
But it is his main objective.
No, that's not true because I said every week I work for FQHC and we're heavily affected in a lot of
affecting us here too.
Wait a minute. Let me reclaim my time. So I was a part of before Trump had his thing. I think it was Bush in office when we went through our first like kind of recession, and I was a part of that.
Yeah,
and it wasn't the government; it was only healthcare at that point that was like fucked up, and a lot of us were losing our jobs and did lose our jobs. Like majority of healthcare lost their jobs. Then so I understand, you know, like that certain things are necessary and yada yada. I get that, but it affects all of us when it's at this scale. I see it's not only affecting black people, it's not only affecting, you know, the middle class, it's not only affecting the lower class, it's affecting, you know, everybody. And I seen that in other countries, this remote stuff, our government, I don't trust them, never have before Trump, never will. That's from me studying law from high school and a little after. You just learned that the government just ain't to be trusted. It's full of a bunch of a lot of laws were made by old rich white racist people.
White racist men,
yep. Men to be exact.
White.
And I seen a white woman speaking on it, and all these men coming at her for speaking on some of the stuff that like we just talking about right here. Damn, I was ready to say something, but then it kicks in the no, for real, but listen. Like all that stuff affects all of us, whatever he does. And this is the only country that's so greedy that it take where like a place like China, because they seem to come up a lot. They do a lot of remote shit. They got a lot of factory stuff. They got a whole bunch of things. It seemed like, well, I think we all can agree that we behind us sometimes with some shit that we don't like to admit to. I'm not saying with everything. I know our military is,
China's way ahead. I seen the infrastructure and they cars.
I'm just saying. And it seemed like for a war like this, you would think that we would have our shit more together, because they over there, their banks loaning out loans to small businesses and all that shit. Now small business over here crashing. It was a strategic move for selfishness, and it showed like what this move that our country doing right now, our president is doing right now, is showing how divided we are in this country, and it's fucking sickening. In comparison to and then he keep throwing China up, but they fucking over there excelling. And not saying that this is not affecting them either, but they ain't affecting them as much as it's affecting us. Look at the ports.
So what they said was this, right? For most people that don't go on YouTube and look at like China and their new cars and they EU and they flying cars and they rail system that run in by themselves and all that. So this is what always been happening for those who are not like internationally swagged, right? The United States have stopped the import of Chinese cars because it will put Tesla out of business. We all know this, right?
But he's South African.
Yeah, but that's what he did. What they did is that the new EU show that they showed, you can even Google this on YouTube. The EU cars that they had, they got one car that if you go in the water, it can float for 30 minutes that allow you to get out and escape. They will not let none of these cars be sold in the United States because it will cripple the United States car manufacturing, which is barely holding on by a thread. The only thing that we hold dear to leverage China is that we still make steel. That's the only leverage that we have. We make steel. To this day.
Let me add. As a veteran and someone who's at the VA, I look at like, okay, my brother, they canned him, like basically the whole unemployment office he worked, just the office. They pretty much shut it down. Now, a lot of guys in there, like the military, when you get out the military, you get a federal job, you can sell back your time in the military so you can retire early.
Right.
All the veterans that got fired, they lost all that military time. Now they got to go back to work after putting in 20 years and then getting a federal job. Like my brother put in 20 years in the military in the Navy. He's been working for the government for 10. No, actually more, 15. He's about to retire. He had 5 more years left. They cut him and the whole office. They were all veterans. That's all I can say. They were all veterans, And I don't know. I'd be honest. I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy for the fact it goes back to the January 6th thing. For a guy who said he was for the police and everything, he let 1,500 people go. I don't respect a man like that. If you're for the law, you're for the law. 1,500 people walked. 5 cops died. 5 cops died. I don't like police. However, they were defending. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Oh, you got anything?
I'm just saying, I'm not no big fan of Teflon and Donnie neither. I'm really not, because I watched when the man destroyed the USFL trying to knock the NFL out. And he just destroyed the USFL, caused them to go bankrupt. I watched him get on the apprentice and 5 people and blah, blah, blah. I watched him the first time he got elected with his Ronald Reagan looking acting ass. I watched him then when he took Amarosa, was that her name? Put him in the White House. People didn't pay attention the first time this man was in office. He brought all these unqualified people in there. Now this time here, he brought even more inept people in there. This Pete guy is getting rid of all the black guys up there in the Pentagon and whatnot, all that stuff, all them top generals and all that stuff, except for the one that they got over there messing around in Africa. Now he's still their boy out there whipping and running around. But yeah, I just don't see it. And the money, all this money that they say, well, we just say this, we just say 150 billion, millions, billions, whatever you slick talking about. Where is it at? Where is it going to? It's sure not reflecting in the prices or nothing. He's sitting on TV talking about the price of gas going down. He didn't say nothing about the price of oil still being high as hell. He didn't say nothing about the price of clothing going up. He didn't say nothing about stuff not being arriving from China for them to make parts on their cars and all that stuff over here in drones and all that stuff. He didn't say nothing about none of that. So I'm just saying, why am I echoing?
You good? You good now?
Okay, let me see. Yeah. Okay, thank you. But yeah,
No problem. No problem.
I'm just saying it's just not working for me, man. I'm telling you. Everybody said he's doing all right. The immigration thing, it's got quiet on that. I'm wondering. I wanted to ask somebody this because I said, well, damn, they're taking all them MS-13 guys away and putting them over there in Venezuela. What are they doing with the few women that are MS-13 gang members? You never see them. What are they doing with them? I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, go ahead. That's it.
With that, and they sent that one guy over there who didn't do anything. They finally gonna bring him back, but Trump said, "No, I'm not bringing him back." That was an innocent man, just like the hairdresser. He didn't do nothing. They shipped him over there to that prison, and now the guy over there was. What did he say? We'll send y'all people back if y'all send us some people back. That's
Okay.
that shit Russia did. You send us, you give us this guy, we'll give you your innocent guys back.
Yeah.
How does that work? How does that work? Wait a minute. Y'all got a guy over there who's innocent. Innocent. Never charged with nothing. But now y'all saying, "Oh, we'll send it back." Y'all sending some of our guys back over here.
Because the United States fucked up. All that LGBT Brittany Grinder shit should have let her sit in jail. Y'all fuck around and got the Lord of War back to go to Russia. Is you crazy? For a basketball player. This is the Lord. They made a movie about this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's the
Yep.
largest.
International dealer.
That's right. He's an international arms dealer.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And y'all went to crying because America went to crying and wanted to be marching and all this goofy shit, and y'all gave him back the man. Is you
Which
tripping?
man?
The Lord of
No,
War.
I'm joking. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's what they called him, the Lord of Destruction.
I was talking about Brittany Griner. That's why I said which man. I'm clowning. I'm clowning.
Yeah.
I'm joking, though. I'm joking.
So other countries is following suit. If y'all let a basketball player be leverage against the Lord of War, my man been doing destruction since we were born. Of course they're gonna try it.
That's what I kept saying.
Not many people agree with that. That was stupid.
I'm saying they
That was
shouldn't.
dumb.
Yeah, I didn't agree with either. I was like, man, she broke the law.
Because all these people they keep saying that they trading people from over there that's locked up or not, and they innocent people. If they so innocent, why are y'all changing exchanging such dangerous people for them? I mean, not only Brittany, but the people behind her that they was getting released from over there. They supposed to be innocent of this and blah blah blah, and they didn't held this on and all that. But y'all releasing hardcore damn criminals and letting them go back over there free.
It's like a conspiracy to me.
I mean,
I don't
damn.
mean no harm. I don't mean no harm. Like maybe I'm just the one like to take it by a grain of salt. Like how it's like reading the Bible. You gotta really, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Ooh, they gonna come for you, dude.
it just they are and they can because I don't care. I'm just saying. Hear me out.
Nah, you good?
They always try, put one in front of us to make it seem like it's something else. These trades ain't just happening by coincidence.
Yeah, of
You
course.
feel me? They not. They know exactly who they want and who they gonna get and who would. Brittany wasn't the one for them to do a trade with. You feel me? They have been plenty of people. We had military men and some other people over there. You feel me? But what the
Still
U.S.
over
do
there.
is when they feel like you a rat or whatever or. She was the least liability, I guess.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah, yeah.
But to make such a issue, that was a dumb show. I feel like it showed weakness on LN
Yeah,
But the more
they
I'm
do.
learning about this government and how we just shouldn't trust them in general, but I mean, it is our
I learned
government,
in the
so
military.
it's like having parents.
I
We
learned.
can't pick them, but we do pick
I
these,
learned.
so it's not. It's like having foster parents. You fuck when we do pick these motherfuckers. We put these people in office.
Yep.
We put them in the position to do what they doing. If you don't like it, America,
Don't
Get
do
rid of
it.
it.
put the
Get rid of that.
Hey,
motherfuckers in there. I'm just saying,
hey,
86
like, change
said.
it up.
86
Dude, you know what I
said.
found out about?
People said.
Dude, you
I
knew when I
said it
found out
before.
about our government?
When?
You know when I was in the military? Because you know how I found out? We're over there in combat. I had to find out through people over here what the hell was going on. We didn't know
Military
shit.
stories are horrible. And the
Yeah, we
older
didn't
the
know
person, the
shit.
worse the stories are.
Yeah, we didn't know shit. And I was like, oh, for real? And I'm right over there, and I'm like, damn, because that's when they were dragging the guy through Africa, through Somalia. And I was like, for real? They said, yeah. Y'all didn't see it? Like, nah. And then, like, about 2 days later, they said, yo, man, they just drug one of our people through town and shit. A few of them, like, oh, I said, I know, my people. So, yeah, we ain't no shit. We ain't no shit. We only getting bombed and shit. Freaking IEDs everywhere. African dudes like, yeah, come get some of this. Boom. I'm like, oh shit. What the
It's
hell?
crazy.
This
All
nigga
right,
was bringing out some damn pie. The
I'm
pie
going to
blew
the
up.
next. I'm going to the next.
Alright.
All right.
He just be making
So
bomb pies and shit.
I think I probably kind of touched on this one, but just let me know if you want to keep going or skip it. Where do you think the U.S. stands as opposed to the rest of the world?
I'll let Paul answer that because he probably gonna
The
answer the way
day
I'm
of the
answering.
Geechee is over.
It's
That's how I know where
over.
we at.
Yup.
Right.
Well, I got homies overseas and they say they're laughing at us, so and I talk to them all the time.
I mean, I
These
think
Americans overseas,
I think
they laugh at us.
like Mike had brought up like YouTube and different things like that. If you watch international news, period, or if you keep up with politics or
BBC
anything, even
out here.
when they in these sessions with the other countries and they having these meetings, you could see we're we're like the laughing stock. Nobody is really taking us seriously.
Nope, they laughing at
Well,
us.
see, that's I mean, that's because the way they went about doing things. Now, one thing I gotta say that I agree with what Mike said. They had to get in there, the government, and cut the fat in the government because people were sitting up in on their asses getting paid for doing nothing.
True that.
So y'all up
True
in here
that.
getting checks for doing nothing. You up in here getting free money. This money disappearing out in Social Security. But yet still, where's that money at now though? Because y'all say y'all got it. Y'all done cut all these people that was in here getting this free money. Where's this money at now? It's still not getting back to the people here. People here still
Yeah.
suffering. If you want to show me that you're doing something, make that money get back to the people. Make the
Right, we
money get back
damn
to
they
the
ain't got
people.
no federal government. That's still all the feds.
Because
The fuck?
they trying to put it all on the states. So even the more that they say that they fine and they letting go all of these peoples, the same way like I think each state has their own public issue, right? Or it's
Hmm.
financial or what's needed or what's a priority. So what the
Mhm.
government is doing now is they're transferring a lot of that to the states to make those decisions. I think Mike, did we talk about this like a couple of weeks ago or something
Yeah,
like
about
that?
yeah, about what Maryland just did. Maryland just
Yeah,
made a
so
fund
and it's
to
more
help the
yeah, and it's
federal
more stuff.
workers.
Yeah, it's more stuff coming. Even down to I saw something even down to I know Mike gonna correct me if I'm wrong. It was something about gun laws. Whatever the federal government has control over, they want to pass it and let each state make their own laws as
Yeah.
far as like for guns and things like that. So it's a lot of things that they're like, fuck it. So you may never see that. They like let the states handle their own business. We gonna worry about blah 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 and do that.
Mhm.
So for people like myself at the moment who work for a certain for FQHC, it's like, well, what happens to these organizations?
Right.
So
Okay.
I give you a quick take, right? So the white people been screaming state rights, state rights, state rights. They kept saying the Civil War was fought for state rights. We want the states to govern us, not the federal. The states have their own constitution. I realize most people don't read their state constitution because Maryland state constitution is very interesting. You got to read it. Um, And so when you read your state constitution, you go, okay, well, they haven't been doing this, they haven't been doing that, they definitely haven't been doing this, and they haven't been doing that, and why? And they go, well, all the services is federal. So when people went to voting for their so-called best interests, they kept saying, like, okay, well, we want the states to govern us, right? The biggest issue was the Department of Education. Hence was a huge argument. So they said, okay, well then what we'll do is we'll slim down the Department of Education and we'll put it in the states' hands. And now all the states are panicking. Like all of a sudden they don't know what to do with all these kids that can't read, but don't know that at third grade you get tested. You know what I'm saying? You get a third grade literacy test, and y'all don't have any third grade programs to help these kids pass it, right? So the third graders literacy test is what they use to decide if they're gonna build prisons or not. This is facts. So your kid get tested at third grade and can barely read, they know that eventually his ass is going to prison. So they go, well, we should build some more prisons. Well, if that's the case, why they no third grade activities? And they were. They were sylvan all throughout school. So now you're looking at, okay, well, healthcare is really not a federal thing. It really has nothing to do with the feds, right? Even though you have the CDC and you have the DHA and you have the Medical Center of Medicare, all right, all those are federal agencies, right? But they're not really actually handing out health care. You see what I'm saying? They said, okay, well, we'll give that to the states. Hence why when people file for like Medicaid and all that, they got to go to like MarylandConnect.com and fill out all that. So they say, okay, well, cool, but we want to give that back to the states. How much money do you need? So all the states now got to come up with a budget. That's why Wes Moore said, well, if that's the case, then we're going to have a relief fund for the federal workers from Maryland that was unemployed. He signed it into law last week. So it's everybody's kept screaming about state rights, like, oh, well, the states don't have any rights. Okay, well, Trump is saying, well, take your states, govern your states accordingly. Now remember, you can't get mad because you voted your governor in. The president is selected. You vote your governor in. So if you're not paying attention on the government scale on where all this money going at, you need to look at your governor. And you need to get a copy of your state constitution so you know exactly when you need to take your butt to the state capitol and go to war. Because that's what it is. It's right now, it's your business to learn what state you live in, what the constitution says of their state, what are your constitutional rights within that state. And so I think right now most people are getting lazy about, oh, well, yeah, they cutting this, they cutting that, they cutting this. Well, the man just said that y'all wanted y'all states' rights back. Okay, well, I'm gonna give it to you because education been failing black people on the government level. You can do a whole curriculum in our communities that been failing us dramatically. So you're looking at right now, boom. So if we give the money back to the states, guess what? The federal government get to audit the states, which haven't done since the inception of the United States. They have not audited any of the states to make sure that they're using them funds correctly. Maryland is the most thieving state. We
Oh,
lost.
we know they've been audited the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
out.
yeah. They $84 million lost. They came in and swept it.
Yeah.
84 million. How does that disappear?
Hmm.
And Baltimore City is starving.
Yep, literally.
Right. So
Literally.
so you're looking at you can have DC that's doing good, and then up the street where you have another city and we're starving. And if you ask the mayor where the money and now he says, oh, that disappeared. Well, how did all that disappear? How
Yeah.
does $48 million walk out of the city hall? If that's the case, I need to go get me a slice. Like I'm in the wrong business. So when people get upset, right? When they get upset, you go, okay, well, do you know your state constitution? Do you even have a copy of it? Most people say no. So when you go to town halls, how do you? Baltimore City has a city constitution. Because we're the only city in Maryland. We have a city and it's ugly as shit, right?
Independent city. Yeah, we're
Yes, and we
independent
don't
city.
say, okay, well, let's change our constitutions. Not nobody say it. Yeah, I'm not. I know my federal. I know who's in my district. I'm out the suburbs. I see him every day. Nice little Jewish man. He comes out and visit the neighborhood. when I was in the
Yes, I
city,
do, because
yeah,
I called them
when I was in the city,
about some
Poplar
stuff.
I'm
Grove.
sorry for those of y'all who don't know. Y'all guys see people can't see that chat. So
I do know
I'm
my
about to say it.
councilman,
what
my
is
city
this?
Okay, I want
councilman.
to say
Yes, I
From
yeah.
the
do.
councilman. So a lot of people don't, but I will say, not to cut you off, Mike. The difference that I do notice now as opposed to before, especially like in the counties, you do see your local, politicians like at the schools in the community more than what you do in the city. From me working in the city and things like that, I notice I'll see the politicians when the cameras are out or when something is when they want to, but not just
Like
free
mingling,
will
yeah.
and things like that. And that's like really disheartening.
Yeah, because I got right up here off of Main
They
Street.
don't have no use for you.
The guy go to Moo Cow all the time. He be standing in line. That's how I know who he is. Him and his family. And I'm gonna tell you, I lived on Poplar Grove. I'm talking about when Crips was there. Did you know the person who was the councilman in that district lived on Mosier Street and was scared to come outside?
Well, because you gotta live in somewhere in the
Yeah,
district.
yeah. How was you scared to come outside? You know it was outside. There's gunshots every day. Once I found out she lived on Mosier Street, we knocked on her door. She was so scared to come outside. She was she was scared as hell, bro. Real old lady too. I was like, she the council? Oh my god, it was sad.
Okay, quick question. Try to move it along. So,
Yeah,
how do you feel? I'm quite sure you probably gonna take this one. How do you? How do you? What are your thoughts? I don't want to say feel. Let's take that feel word out. What are your thoughts on the ports being empty versus the ports in China? Did we already do that?
no.
Okay.
So this how I feel about it, right? And this is the God honest truth. So strategically, they wanted the ports to be empty, period, because they wanted to push AI. That's why the guys protest. I got like 8 guys I know work at the ports. So this is all strategically done, right? So that the ports can have less bodies, so they can push the AI in. Now, if you get on YouTube, go to California, the guy will let you know that is a Long Beach, California port is already self automated. I tell people this for years. In order for them to push automation, AI, they have to they have to cause a scene, right? The problem is that the United States does not have to go outside of the United States to make us survive. China still has to go and do business with Canada and everybody else in order for them to be able to push the product that they have. So it's just like having a surplus but no blocks, right? If you got a surplus of with anything, you got to find out who's selling and who's buying. So the surplus goes to Cuba still by do business with China. Canada just started doing business with China. Africa even more started doing business with China because China did not come in and use the international banks to put them in debt. That's why if you ever look at Burkina Faso right now, the President Toure, they building roads with the help of China because they Russia helped them pay off their debt, but they didn't use the international banks to give them outstanding loans. So our international practices have been fucked up, and we gonna pay. We was gonna pay for it anyway, no matter what president it was, because Africa's moving. You know what I'm saying? Africa, like the dude just printed 200 gold bars without anybody. So
What's
we
the
we
lady president? What's her name? I'm sorry, because she deporting Americans back.
oh in Germany, right?
No,
Yeah,
is she in
is it in
Germany?
Germany?
The African lady.
Oh
It's
no, the African lady
country where she's shipping.
in I think in Gambia or something, in Kenya. Yeah, she's shipping them out.
Yeah,
She
she's
said,
shipping
y'all
them
get
out.
y'all's ass up out here. Y'all can
But
go.
but see, they was gonna do
Goodbye.
No,
that.
when she started deporting
Yeah,
the citizens
they,
of her country back. She was one of the ones that she started doing her own thing. So she's doing a deportation
yeah,
of
she's doing a mass.
Americans.
Yeah,
She's sending it's back to
yeah.
her.
And but the good thing is
I
that
don't mean to chuckle, but I,
but
I
but
low key, I like her.
no, but
Like,
see, but but see, I'm glad because
I like her.
but nationalism need to come back, whether good or bad. We need to actually be nationalists for our country. You know what I'm saying? So we need to be more informed. And I think most people would say, like, black people are nationalists. Yes, we are. We're the most nationalist person people they are. We work here, we strive here, if business die here, we create. So now we need to actually focus on what we needed to do. Even though they stalled the infrastructure bill because Obama was pushing it, they should have been passed it and We should have been working on our infrastructure from day one. Now, this is the problem with infrastructure plus racism. Who you think gonna get the jobs? Who you think gonna benefit from the jobs if they do the whole infrastructure rebuild of the United States?
Who, mate?
Black people. We automatically gonna get picked up for the jobs. So when people get to talking like, oh yeah, well, how come this? How everything that this country is far behind? It's always about racism. You know what I'm saying? So if you say, okay, well, listen, we need to build up our cities, every last one of them. Well, guess how many people gonna get the jobs? The people that live in the city. You even have you even have jobs online that say you can come and get this job, but only if you live in the state. So now you're looking at, well, why the hell are they doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, I can't get this job because I don't live in the state. Even if it's remote, they don't want you. You can't be living outside the state now. So you say, okay, well, shit, if we have to build our infrastructure anyway. Our electrical grid sucks. Our only thing that works is our internet grid, but only because they get backed up by the federal government to make sure that they have all the internet in the world so they can listen to your conversations. But for the most part, our bridges is old. You looking at even they did a whole survey. So you looking at right now, it's more important to understand that you moving outside of the country still ain't gonna help the country. And I think that's what most people get it messed up. Like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Well, where you gonna go at? You're a United States citizen and you still have to pay taxes. They be lying to y'all. I've moved to Africa. Yeah, but every year you gotta pay taxes. They don't tell you that. Yeah, you gotta file taxes every year you live outside of the country unless you give up your citizenship. And you can
I'm about
only
to
give up
say, yeah, you got
and
to give up your
you can
citizenship.
only give up your citizenship during wartime. People don't even know that. They keep talking about, oh yeah, I'm gonna get rid of my shit. When are you gonna do it? You don't even have the money to just do it. Like, you gotta wait till we blow up some shit and be like, oh, I'm not getting out of here. Other than that, it says it in writing. You can't get your citizenship only during wartime. And if you do, you can't come back.
You know, what was the question? I forgot.
How the what are your thoughts on the ports being empty versus the ports in China? And then I
Oh,
got two more after that.
I don't have no thoughts. My packages just better come in. I just feel like I don't see it. I don't see nothing. I don't see it yet. Right now I'm not hopeful to I'm on the more negative end of it. I feel like it looked like the country is falling apart and is going to end up falling apart. One thing that I do see a lot of people talking about in the comments section underneath of things is um who gonna work the jobs? China got China makes everything. I'm not really sure. I've been making it my business to see exactly what is made here in the US because I don't know. Everybody hate Ford. It seems like Americans hate anything American made for real. Americans promote foreign stuff. I drive a Ford, so I mean, I think
Mhm.
I guess I could say I'm American. You
Close
know,
to American as possible as apple pie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you talk to, Mike. But I guess I know Coco. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but it depends on who you talking to. You feel me? Because people blame us for the blackness of us, the brown skin of us, and living on this fucking stolen soil. It's our fault, you know. But yeah, the ports they look empty. Our port messed up because
The
a
conspiracy.
boat ran into it, right? That conspiracy
that
there, you
conspiracy, because
feel me?
that was weird.
We I seen on the news that we however much billion and that I
Mhm.
don't know how the money was stolen, but it's a running joke for any Marylander and definitely any city folk that we already know Maryland is really
You can get
yeah.
rich here. You just gotta go into politics.
Maryland really, yeah, man. They've been looking into Maryland stealing money. The city alone, you feel me? Let me pause right there. When I was in high school, everybody owned my high school. The federal, the state, the city, and even Johns Hopkins Hospital owned my goddamn high school at one point in time. You feel me? So all I'm saying is Like anything can happen here. You feel me? It's all in, the money goes everywhere. And when they do find out, they cover it up. This when it comes to who's in the office. If Almea was a black woman, she'd have been in jail.
I agree.
Like the rest of them.
Yep, I agree.
But luckily, he's a man, and they groomed him for that position.
Didn't
I,
no
I, ain't
boy
got-
set
I,
the
ain't got-
tone.
I love you,
Didn't
Brandon. Not,
no,
but at the same time, we put you there. They bred him for that position, like they bred LeBron James to go to the NBA.
Mm. Ooh.
Tell me I'm lying. Y'all some city folk. Y'all understand.
Yeah.
Sorry.
it is
but
what it is. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
All right. So,
My shit just better make it in. Oh wait, one more thing, Coco. They say as long as you order under $800 for stuff or something, that
mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, customers will let it get in. Yeah.
keep
Oh,
that in
good.
mind, folk. Be cheap.
Girl, they capitalizing. That's why they expose all of
All
them
them high
designers
brands.
and
Yeah,
all
they
of
put
that
them.
stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, we gonna still bring it over
Yeah,
here.
and Amazon. I'm sorry, can I not? Amazon. Y'all had everybody pumped for 2 minutes. Y'all fucking cowards.
I was waiting on that one. I was
Fucking
definitely waiting on
cowards.
that
Y'all
one.
fucking cowards. That's what I gotta say. This ain't on the casual convo. That's on me. I started to order from you whores today and changed my mind. I went to Temu
Okay.
because you fucking whores. Hey, y'all could at least gave us 24 hours. The fuckers.
Well,
They
Jude,
That's
backed up
all I
quickly.
say.
this next one is yours. Well, the next two are actually yours.
Oh, what I was saying.
okay.
Um, Jude has said, "Oh, Coco, I know what we could talk about. Bouncy, Beyonce.
Boom. Let's talk about Beyonce. All right, so the amount of hate, right? Listen, I don't have kids, right? But the amount of hate that I see towards
Not
you grown
Beyonce, Blue Ivy.
Blue Ivy, the
Yeah.
amount of hate I see towards you grown women and now grown men towards this child, let me just explain something. She is Beyonce's daughter. She is growing up a totally different lifestyle than we could ever. I mean, she is growing a life that we all probably wish we could. That she's Beyonce's daughter. Yes, Jay-Z is her father, but Beyonce is her mother, and she is a young woman. Her mother gave her the opportunity. She even explained it. She didn't even want Blue up on that stage. And y'all criticized her the first show. That was the women. But this time I'm seeing more men posting and talking. This is a little girl who is enjoying her life. Most celebrities don't even show. A lot of celebrities do not even show their children because it's their right to. They human beings, but to see a little girl up there living her best life, and you grown people, men and women, criticizing it because you're miserable, you feel, because of anything with your life. But to see the younger baby get up there and y'all keep questioning, is she autistic? So it don't matter if she's autistic or not. Autistic people exist in this world and they can do many things. Speaking of a person who have a few of them in my family, one in particular, you feel me, who has children. And with the right family support, she can do many goddamn things. They are not any different than us. Some of them are smarter than us. There's a guy at my job who is now an engineer. And he joined the program. He went to them. He was in housekeeping. I remember his story. He went to them and he told them, I asked him, how you get into engineering? He said, well, they told me that I can just clean and, because they didn't think I can do the job. So he took classes and got his license. and they had no choice but to give him the goddamn job. And some of us out here that ain't autistic don't even got the gall to do something like that. But for y'all to be picking on this little girl because she look like y'all ain't got some ugly ass kids somewhere, or like you was a little ugly ass baby. I'm just saying, because when
Kanye
they
West
be
did that.
and let's talk about
No,
his
that was before Kanye West, because he
yeah before
came out. That's been going on for over a year. Well,
because it
actually,
was it
since that girl was born,
because
they
they
was
keep
talking
talking about
about
the
her
little
look.
boy too. The
Yeah,
little boy, why we don't never see him? Because
right.
some kids are camera shy. He may be autistic, so the fuck what? Michael Jackson had a fucking sheet over his kid face. He was still a king.
Blanket.
Exactly. Name the motherfucking blanket. You feel me? All I'm saying is leave them kids alone. And Kanye, his I don't I don't want to be talking about kids, but Northwest is grown. She's fucking grown and they dress her grown at times, besides like the wig shit. But it gives me great pleasure as a black woman to see Blue so polished. And people criticize that a lot of more women than men. How polished, how just happy and joyful she is. So I just want to say this before I stop. I just want to say you should have chose a better baby daddy. It ain't, her fault that her mother chose Jay-Z and they had kids. I don't care how she had them. That's her parents. She's privileged. Be happy about it. Hopefully your child grow up and choose somebody to make her life like that. That's all I can wish for y'all. But y'all miserable on these internets talking about these children.
Yeah.
And Kanye, that's all I got to say.
Well, we said Kanye started because he had an album
That's
coming
all
out.
I got to say.
We were correct. It was the album, but I do think it was disgusting with Blue since she was born when they first started.
Yes.
So they was talking about her hair, like, oh, that she never does her hair. But I'm like, she was a little girl. She did the ponytails. They did whatever. What I do appreciate is that they keep her age appropriate. And no, and I'm like, what do y'all want her for? One, okay, yes, Beyonce is her mother,
Given.
but she's not going to do all that. But what I do see is her growing into becoming a young lady. Her confidence is picking up. She's doing well. But I do think, and before the thing that I hate that people say, and mainly in the comments and on different podcasts and all of this stuff, well, if you put your kid or you put your business out there, if you get up on these platforms, you put yourself up there to be scrutinized. She's entertaining, but at the same time, yes, she's a child. And again, what are your children doing? And there was a time when kids would be like off limits or whatever. Okay, if you don't like her mom, you don't like her dad, that's on them. She didn't choose them. So I definitely agree with you on that. But I think she's a beautiful young lady. I even like the twins. And they don't have to show their kids. A lot of them don't show their kids. They can choose like who wants to, because of people do stuff like that. So it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And I just
And
think,
Blue got her own fans. Them little
You
girls
right.
know,
love her.
But
Y'all
okay,
daughters love her and y'all hating on her.
what's crazy to me is also, let me go. I'm sorry, Paul, but about the tour when she started selling the tickets, Beyonce ain't that dumb because she started selling them tickets around tax time, but she didn't sell out her show because she still had like, I think they said it was like 2-3 thousand empty seats. Like in this economy, come on now. Some of them tickets was ridiculous. I be damn. I watch her on a good YouTube when they show the snippets of somebody that can record.
Hello, hello.
okay, what I was gonna say is, you remember back when you had Showtime kids at the Apollo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
They never
yeah.
did. They never did boo them kids or nothing. Criticize those kids for entertaining.
Sure.
So now you want to criticize this little girl for being an entertainer because she's basically getting paid, and because her mom and dad done been paid, so she basically getting paid because they didn't been paid. But I mean, it's still like I said, I haven't really been involved in that because so much been going on with me. Like I said, getting moved into a new apartment, getting ready to do that, and I'm hearing this right now for the first time. Why would you criticize a child, a kid? Eh, Why not encourage them? Whatever, like you said, they autistic, what not? You don't go around here uh, talking about that big head boy, that Teflon Donnie's son. What's his name? Dewan or something like that. I can't think. Got the little Frankenstein head on his shoulders. You don't criticize him,
He gonna
but
be
here
back.
y'all want to criticize the little black girl. If it ain't about her hair, like you said, it's not about her hair. It's about her being on stage performing. She's appropriately dressed as far as I can see on any pictures or anything.
Hmm.
You don't hear nothing about her doing anything. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It bothers me when you attack the kids because the kids are supposed to be the future. And
Exactly.
it was something that Mike said earlier. He said about they was wanting Trump and them trying to do something about creating black jobs, but you can't create black jobs while killing black dreams. You can't do it. So I don't know how that's gonna work there. Somebody gonna have to work, but I don't see how you gonna create black jobs while you killing the black dreams before they can get to them jobs. You got you got black people out here now. They don't know what the hell going on. How they gonna get their jobs or whatever? The economy is in a as far as the people on lower rung of the ladder, as far as the people on the lower rung of the ladder, the economy is already starting to press them down more than what they've already pressed down. And I'm saying when I go to the stores where you barely see people in the stores on anything on the shelves. Nobody's really in there doing any stocking. This is one of the small stores or somewhere like Harris Teeter. I went through there, had people there stocking stuff, but nowhere else. One thing I noticed, the Hispanic people around here in Asheville, they have just about all but disappeared. I mean, they food trucks, their community things, whatever what few might be around still out there in the county part of the county. But yeah,
Sad.
Mike, you got anything? Are you ready for the next one? Mike, sleep.
nah, he
I
checking
don't
it
know
out.
what he doing.
I think
He on mute. All right. So the
Oh,
next one, I'm gonna let Drew lead off with this one again. That's when it's hers. She probably forgot.
he reading something.
So, South Africa and Americans, and I put in parentheses, Drew will lead.
oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So South Africa. So I had seen this is like I guess like a little over like 2, 3 weeks ago now. Um when the New Orleans had that Zulu uh parade, and the Zulu tribe in South Africa got offended because of the way the blackface and all that stuff, and they started attacking the black Americans and a whole. Now I want to give it up to Nigeria because I don't know why Nigeria. I'm trying to do a little more research. Nigeria and South Africa are also beefing too. That's their whole number war. So they are on the American side, but you know how Black Americans are. We went in with the roasting and the, you know, that's some New Orleans stuff. That's not all of us. The same way like y'all letting us know like over there it's different parts of Africa, different cultures, and here in America there's different cultures of Black people here. You got your Southern, you got your Northern, you got your East Coast, you got your West Coast. You feel me? Um, but it started getting real dark. It got the argument got real dark. They start one lady made a video of she was a slave picking cotton and stuff
Hmm.
like that. It was a guy, in jail with a jumpsuit on, African guy in jail. But they got real dark in them comments where African men were threatening to kidnap and grape Black American women, and they got like real dark. They were threatening to do like some crazy things. And I said this on this thing before, because when we talk about Africa, Africans have oh, it got real deep. I mean, they was talking about this African nurse was on there talking about how she hate Black people and she don't like to be around us, and it got real deep between Africans and Black Americans, and they were going back and forth. But them comments, you see the true people in them comments, the real about the world. And black people, I want to say we have been sitting back. You know, we got our little say here and there, but it was the for of all people we were beefing with, it was people with the same color skin as ours.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we
And
do.
they are wait a minute, I know, wait, we beefing, they telling us we not real Africans, they the real African Americans, they call us a catus or something like
Akatas.
that, a
Yeah.
catus. I
Straight
mean,
cat with no history, yeah.
it was getting, and as an American, I just, I was like, we don't, as black people, and African, let me say this, there were African men. I have not seen one African woman, but African men were speaking very highly of us, educating. This is what they went through. This is their fight. We don't have the same fight as them. They was even telling their own people, maybe y'all need to humble yourself when y'all come over here. Understand that this is their culture. They are not who we are. I realized something, earlier today talking to Coco. I was like, we all share the same ancestors. Maybe not in South Africa, because I realized that they got a different part of the slave trade than we did from wherever most of our ancestors came from. But they hate us. But we got technically them slaves that came from Africa or were already here, or whatever, however, because nobody ever know the fucking real truth. If that's
Because
the
there was
case, if they were given to the Europeans from the Africans, we all share the same ancestors, right? But if the story is so fucked up and we got it so messed up, why is the hardest thing for me to find is Africans telling? Like you find, I'm not, and I could be wrong, but telling like the story. It's like you get so many different stories on their ends too. But I do remember, I'm coming back. I'm ready to stop. That I did hear and read in a documentary that a lot of their history got destroyed too. So it seemed like all of us are so fucking confused. But we get the brunt of it. The black Americans. It's to the point I don't even think y'all noticing that we even dropping the African and just calling ourselves black Americans because we're not, and we are claiming our place in this land that we were born in. And it seemed like the Africans are really mad at us because we are okay with that. We are not necessarily running back to Africa. And they wasn't in a hurry to come over here and fucking get us either.
You ready? I got
I'm
your
ready.
back. All right, so listen. Fuck Africa. Let's be clear.
I was trying not to say that. Thank you, Mike.
So when they talk about we don't know us, we are the only country that did a census. Our oldest census go back to the 1700s. Africa don't have any records of who the people are. You can go way back and find your great 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 grandmother, your great 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 grandfather. We're the only country that actually started doing census. And you will know that majority of us were not slaves. Okay, in the Alabama and the antebellum South, there's a lot more independent slavers. I give you an example. You can look this up. When Great Britain said that they wanted all British colonies to don't do any slavery, right? They had a discussion in South Carolina, all the planters, and they went and they hung a black free man on his land. Get something they don't talk about. We always been here. Okay, so if you go and you want to go, but we're not the same. We're not. We're not Africa. We don't have that in us. All our building is here. All our infrastructure is here. Chicago was a city already before the white man became here. The only city that they've ever attempted to build was Orlando. Miami was already built. Chicago was already built. Detroit was already built. Los Angeles was already built. Baltimore, Philly, they were already built. New York was already built because they were settlers there. They were black Indians. The cities were already built. All they did was bury the old city and build skyscrapers. That's why when you talk about, well, do you know the underground city of Baltimore City? If you don't, go on YouTube. The cities are all built on top of each other. We already did this. So when people go, oh, Africa, no, y'all romanticizing about what it would be to go back to a country that got beat up. They got beat up in their own house. How you let somebody go in your own house and beat you up? That doesn't make any sense. And what you'll learn is that if you actually do the research, that in 1492, Christopher Columbus was sent out to do a reconnaissance. He came back and said These are the people that are in the lands. And what happened? Spain declared war on the United States, on the Americans. English declared war on the Americans. The Dutch declared war. They didn't come over here no Bibles. They came over here to kill us. So the first place that they conquered was not the United States. They conquered South America first. And they came in with the conquistadors to kill Black Americans. They knew who was here. The Olmec hears proved that our civilizations were here, right? The tale of the king leaving from Mali, coming here doing trade is written on the Benin Wall. So they know that we've been here. But we are not Africans. We have the phenotype. We have a general look. But we are not Africans because our civilizations were already here. Creole is our official language. That's called Zinga language. Okay, that's why you have the ing at the certain words. What happens with Black people is that we don't go and actually study Creole. They banned it here. They banned it. So if
And
you
a
actually, so if
lot
you
of
ever look
things
up,
about her.
yeah, you ever look up and you'll realize why Creole was banned. They're upset because in New Orleans they represent all of them because some slaves were here from Jamaica. That's why the Louisiana Purchase was so important because they would. It's easy to sell Africans from Jamaica to America. Okay, it's easy to sell. It's easy to sell slaves from Haiti to Louisiana because remember, Florida wasn't built. Florida ain't had no port. The
Nope.
largest port is in Louisiana and Alabama. It is easy for them to do that. No, Africans, there's no Africa. Man, listen, we got invaded. We got conquered through guns. Facts. We wasn't a war tribing people. Period. Not only that, they got the fake little Indians that came across, those Eskimo looking motherfuckers that team up with them because their nations were small. That's why they call them the five great nations. It's over 277 Indian nations that they don't even recognize. And they all begin from North Carolina all the way to Florida. Because you look at the old charts, you'll see all the Indian lands. And for South Carolina to get conquered against the Yamasee tribe, they had to go get the Cherokee to help them invade and win because they were outnumbered. That's called the Yamasee War. The Gullah Wars last for 200 years. They call them the Seminole Wars. And they were getting their ass whipped. It's the reason why they allowed the Civil War to take place. So as Black people, because I can't wait till Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler get around to making the Gullah Geechee joint so they can show you we wasn't playing with them. That's my roots. We wasn't playing with them. And after Reconstruction, they don't talk about it because Black people always want to play like slavery. In Reconstruction, we controlled the House and the Senate in South Carolina. We made all the laws. And then when Ulysses Grant made that deal and pulled out the troops, they killed us on the Capitol grounds. If you ever watch Birth of a Nation, the first one, it shows you South Carolina was ran the House, right, and the Senate. So how these uneducated motherfuckers know how to read and write because it's our language mixed with Indian. With English. That's all it is. But it's our language. Ours. The best speech that was ever given was I forgot about the guy's name, but he was on the South Carolina floor when he was talking about why Reconstruction was needed and why we need equal shares. That's why the Civil Rights Law of 1860 was written. That's our first civil rights. And people don't even know what that does. That allow us to they have to do business with us. They have to do business with us. That's why when integration was so important, because now they don't have to do business with you. They want to be so bad to be integrated. So now you fucked us because the 1860 civil rights say they have to do business with us. They have to allow us to own real estate. So what did they do? They went and they made all of the lands that were ours federally reserved. If you Google the Federal Reserve lands, those are our lands. We lived in Yellowstone. That's where we at. All those federal parks, those are ours. So when people be talking about reparations, they ain't got no lands for us, you dumb. They got federally reserved land, which was originally ours. You can't even go to the Grand Canyon because they found artifacts of Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, they said that. They did say
So
that.
what are you talking about? Nigga, we've been here. We've been riding up the Mississippi River to go get our food for decades.
Listen, the more they find out, the more new laws we need. It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be.
always
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah.
It's
So when you look at an African, I let them know I ain't from here. I ain't from here. My business, my people been doing business with Samoans all the way from Hawaii.
did I say that? Yo,
Mhm.
So
listen, did I say that?
we've
I
been
said,
doing business.
yo,
We've been doing business with everybody. That's why they burned down the second Black Wall Street. They crippled the one in Durham, North Carolina. They don't talk about, but
Mhm.
they burned down the one in Tulsa because we was about to do business with England because we had the best cotton. That's the one thing they don't talk about. Hard work. We the ones that taught them how to do cotton, tobacco. That's why as a black person you can't grow any. They do you're not allowed to grow tobacco. Do you know why you're not allowed to grow tobacco? Not that you don't know it, but because if you actually give a motherfucker a real cigarette, he's not gonna want to smoke it.
Mhm.
yeah.
Because there's no menthol in it. There's not that additive taste. Right? So you looking at everything that was given to us, nobody gave us shit. We the ones that had corn, bitch. We the ones that did cotton. You weren't even growing it. You know when cotton got to Ethiopia, a black man went over and helped
Oh
y'all.
God damn it.
Oh
You know
shit.
you know why the Philippines is free? Because a black soldier decided to stay and fight for your independence. A black man. So when people get to talking, I'm black. I ain't never been to Africa. I have no African ancestry in my history. There's not one time that they can show that my peoples came off a boat. And if you can prove one, I give you $1,000,000. And I got the records. My great great grandmother came from Jamaica.
I'm gonna come right back.
Okay.
I just wanted because we running short. I just wanted to see if Paul had something to say, and then we can come back to Mike.
Okay. No, I just want to say what Mike was talking about. It was Wilmington, North Carolina, Mike, down on the coast down there.
Oh no,
They
no, I
got
ain't talking about
burned down and
I ain't talking
destroyed.
about the burn down. I'm talking about the first Black Wall Street
It was
happened in
down in
Durham.
Wilmington.
No, it happened in
Yeah.
Durham. Y'all got a plaque.
Okay.
Google it.
Okay. I
Got a
gotta check
plaque
that
there.
out. Cause,
You know how
'cause-
I know I got a plaque there? I
damn, don't do that.
visited it.
Ah, shit.
Because I
Are
kept trying
you
to,
googling it now, Paul?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! You
he
made me
did
pull
cut
the
his
drop
stuff
down.
off.
Hey, look,
I
hey,
was
look,
like,
Listen,
I'm
can
supposed
can
to
I
see.
can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Gail and them ain't go to space, y'all. They was probably in a hot box, if y'all know what a hot box is.
Mm-hmm.
But they ain't go to space. I
Gail
just want to
all
say
over the
that.
place these days. Where Paul at? I'm gonna have him to come back. I'm gonna hear what he gotta say. Y'all know Paul gotta give us a good one before this show over. He always good for a
He
good one.
having technical difficulties.
He be like, he be like, I seen a little private chat talk about I disappeared.
I know. I see that too.
Okay, there I go. I'm back.
There
I'm
you
back.
go.
I'm high as hell. I done mashed the damn wrong button down there. Get me to go research something on Google. Cause Mike said check it out on Google. I forgot. I can't disconnect like that and shit. But
What you
yeah,
trying to look up? Let me do it. Let me look it up.
it was about the Durham. Cause I remember Wilmington was the first thing that I remember hearing about. But it could
Oh,
have been
it's in the
Durham.
private chat. Mike put it there.
Okay, I might be able to get there. But anyway, what was the thing? What was the question? Because I done forgot.
South Africa were mad at the Americans, the South Africa versus the Black American beef over the New Orleans Zulu parade festival parade thing.
Ah, I mean, why would you be mad about imitating something that you do in your homeland when you walking around wearing clothes that's made in our homeland? Why would you do that? Why would you? Why? I mean, it ain't nothing but a thing. You are benefiting from what's going on over here. So, I mean, let people benefit from what's going on over there. Everybody might not be able to make it to Africa. Everybody might not want to be going to Africa. Like Mike said, everybody ain't from Africa. Everybody should check out their roots. If you don't know where you come from, then you know where you begin. So yeah, it's stuff that you need to check out. People don't realize. Don't just take people's word because they say it. Like I got my shit. My shit go back to my great, 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 great grandfather, who was 100% Cherokee Indian, and his wife was a slave, and they met and married throughout and got out of slavery, and that's how we began. So yeah. So I don't know about the boat people. I'm not gonna be impersonal, but I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm have any of that blood in me because I don't see no signs of that in the history. But I'm saying they can't. How you gonna get mad at people? What y'all need to do is be worrying about taking care of things over there. Y'all need to be uniting over there. But what's my man's name? Farso Barino.
Yeah. Burkina Faso.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what y'all need to be doing.
General Touré. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what y'all need to be doing. Do that. Get that shit together. Cause like he said, and Obama said, the biggest mistake he made was going over there killing that man, his brother, for what? Because them people want to have their own shit. Don't want to depend on y'all. So yeah, I'm through. But yeah, that's what I think they should do. Worry about that. Don't worry about nobody over here imitating your dancing, your clothing, your face, and all that shit. Fuck that. Okay.
I think
Well,
I like to go back to what Drew had said. When lack of knowledge is also a huge thing, not even with just Africans and us. I think other cultures, because even when you have conversation, I think it's also good because it's something that we don't take pride in, is actually having conversations with people from other cultures. Because a lot of times, a lot of barriers can be, I don't want to say mended, but understandings can be given, and depending on who you talk to, and they will receive it. Like I've talked to people from different cultures just in traveling, and then sometimes the projection that they're given or that they have for us is, and then when they come here and they see it, it's like, oh, WTF. But then when you tell them your experience, it gives them a different understanding of enlightenment. So now they have a, we talked about perspectives in the beginning, it can change the perspective, because all of us don't fit a narrative, but the same way like we talk about anything else, we do have those groups that fit the bill of what they were taught. So when they see that and they keep running into it, that's a given, because some cultures don't even think that we've been through a struggle here. They think that we're just great because we're black, and that's not even true. And then when they get here and they see we being treated and abused, and we're not, put on this pedestal, they start to look at us funny. But again, it's like an understanding and education. I think we need to take more opportunities
yeah.
instead of judging people and assuming. Have the conversation, speak to people, and we can probably mend some of them fences.
Well, I mean, you got to
What was
understand
it
though
that
too, like
separated the
media.
land?
Hmm?
What was it that separated the land?
You said what was it about separating the land?
No, I said, what was it that separated the land? Because you
What they
remember, Mike said that Egyptian remains was found over here. So I'm saying, what is it that separated the land?
Yeah, because the land there was a different mess, but
Yeah, it
probably
was it
the
was it was
tectonic and the
tectonic.
plates
Yeah, the
when
place
they
earthquake and all that.
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
shift over time.
you talking about the theory of what they call Pangea. So Pangea said we was all connected into earthquakes and the tectonic plates and earthquakes and volcanoes.
And the earth going through changes right now. Nobody's paying attention to global
Yeah, in the U.S.
and
Yeah.
climate
Mhm.
change and all of those things. Like, just think about the new species of things that we haven't explored is being seen. And then
Yeah,
if
in the
we look at
space
the
and the
weather,
water.
the East Coast, I mean the West Coast getting our weather, and it's like vice versa. Like the climate change and all of that stuff is real. Animals are changing behaviors. It's a lot going on, and nobody's paying attention. Like, our Earth is really going through its
Yeah,
own natural, what is the
So
what's the
and
scientific word for it? I know y'all know.
what?
Metamorphosis, not metamorphosis. What is it
yeah,
called?
you're right. We're going through a metamorphosis. We're
Metamorphosis.
going through a change. Yeah.
The Earth is going through what it go through, and every so many years that happens, and it's just what. Because even when you, I don't know if y'all follow like astrology and different things about the Earths and the planets.
Yeah.
Every planet is changing, and we're actually rotating differently in our galaxy. Whereas though that's why they can see other galaxies. We're getting closer to the Milky Way. All the planets are actually
But
changing
moving
and
further
finding,
away from the sun. Yeah. So
yeah,
Yeah,
they said.
finding more moons and
Yeah.
everything else. So it's Yeah,
So they
we
found
never,
184 Earths. I was impressed. 184 Earths. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
why we starting to
Right.
see more. And then if you stay right, and then if you stare hard enough into the sky, you can see different things going on to know like we getting closer to a lot. They starting to hear more. So
Yeah.
was it
So
you,
They
Megan,
they've
you
been
that was
hearing
talking?
stuff.
Right, but it's getting closer and more profound. And
so
Swing down, sweet
So I'm gonna
Women
tell
chariot.
you.
might be
I'm gonna tell y'all. Look at
Let
now,
me
real quick. I want to tell
ride.
y'all. Look at the Arctic
Swing
map
down, sweet chariot.
because it says it's a
Let
frozen
me
wall
ride.
that
yes,
separates us
Yep.
from the rest
Swing
of the Earth.
down, sweet
yes,
It's
Yep.
being
chariot.
melted. That's why we seeing more.
Let me
We seeing more stuff. Plus, when they did the Mariana Trench, and they
hmm
found rivers under
Under
in the
under.
ocean. Yeah,
oh,
Yeah. Listen,
yeah.
I want to
yeah.
say this.
That shit
If
real.
I need
you
to go deeper into that though.
if you do not
Another
own a telescope,
Get
get
one.
you one.
Get you one.
If you do not own a telescope, get you one. And this is the time to look up blackout spots. And this summer, since you ain't trying to go down with the planes, get your ass on the road and spend time with your family and go to them blackout spots and look up at the sky. And I want to say this before I forget. The main issue with the South Africa people, don't mean to go back to that, was they didn't like how they were represented. That I respect. If they were being misrepresented, I understand. But they attacked everybody instead of reaching out to the foundation down there and dealing with it. But I want to say this to my Black Americans: y'all did not disappoint. Y'all hold the crown, and y'all the Africans were mad because y'all called them Africa. We call them African booty scratchers. That is one thing they are mad about, and y'all held on that. And that's something that we used to do when we was kids. But to know at
That it hurt
40,
them. Yeah, it
that
hurt them.
still hurt. You feel me?
Hmm.
We ain't even know. You feel me? That was just something that we. But I'm gonna say this. Y'all can't tell half the time if I'm African or not. So y'all ain't got no reason to be hating on me. We all look alike. Cause y'all mistake me for one of y'all or Jamaican or something like that every so often. People ask us where we from all the time because we all do look alike. But for the first time in history, I
Hey,
ain't never seen black people my until I open my mouth. Till I open my mouth and I say Doug and two. But but hear me out. It took me great. It was the first time in my life I've seen a few things, 9/11, black president, all that. But never in my life did I see when black people were sitting out of all the wars in race, we were telling the Africans to take their ass back home.
Yep.
We don't tell nobody else that. We stay out of everybody, the Hispanic community, everybody. I ain't never seen so many black people telling somebody to take their ass home. And it was towards the Africans. Y'all are rude and crude, but y'all did not disappoint when they
and
came for
another
our asses. That's
and
all I
another
wanted to say.
another good thing is the more shit that happens in this country and abroad, we come up with a new dance and recipe.
Yes,
We have
yes.
taken over the reels and the line dance again. I said we're gonna continue to dance out, and I think I said this last week. The more we do that, the more everybody is trying to activate the Black American. They want us activated so bad. They want us to go up, and we like, nope, that ain't it. Even down to the Shannon Sharps, the Tracy, whoever y'all want to date people, and then the shit go left, and you like, you calling on the F and M. We start line dancing our
And then
ass
it's a
off.
new line dance.
Right,
It's a whole
we
new
be
one.
with two shits on anything. So I do like the fact that status quo is kind of changing with this generation. Is like if fuck that shit was a people, we are it.
Hey, I
So
got a question. Did y'all hear a term called the 92 percenters?
no.
The
So
what?
so so that's the 92% that voted for Kamala. And then there's the 78 percenters that voted for Kamala, black men. Black men voted 78%, black women voted 92%. So the black women call themselves 92 percenters. So if anything pop up on TikTok, would be like, we want the black woman, they say, oh no, the 92% is staying out of it. So if you go on TikTok, there's a movement called the 92 percenters and the 78 percenters.
Somebody is back on TikTok.
Yeah, so the 78 percenters is for it's for the black men that voted for
I'm
Kamala.
here for it.
So the girl made a shirt, right? They said the 92 percenters and the 78%, the 78 percenters ain't got nothing to do with your problems. If y'all want to march, please leave us out.
Period.
It was selling like hotcakes over the weekend. I was dying laughing.
I wish I known how to got me one because we got our boots to the ground.
Yeah. They said we we not. They said the men that said the 78%. He said we done told you about what's gonna happen. We gonna sit and watch.
Shit, even
Okay, I'm with that.
even Shannon Sharpe, electric sliding all over the place off beat. Did y'all see that video of him with that?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see Charlamagne doing boots on the ground?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Look stiff.
Just called her. So look at her.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see
Look
that.
at her.
So we got 1 minute. Any final or somebody want to take the last minute and then I can do our sign off or we done.
I can do one. So listen. So we as
One
black
minute.
people, we as black people have decided to sit out of everything. No matter if we voted for Trump or not, we've decided that this is the person that you wanted. We're gonna sit and watch. Anything that happened to us economically, we've known to survive, surpass, and deal with. We are a struggling people that make shit out of sugar. Have at it.
Okay, so Jude, thank you for being my co-host tonight because Vasco had to leave. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, of course, Mr. I don't even know what I want. I gotta give you a nickname, Mike. Thank you. I truly want to say I appreciate all of you guys. Rich, I appreciate you as well from behind the scenes. Also, I want to tell everybody. I mean, I think it's safe to say because he's made a post about it. Keep Bosco in your prayers. He's going through radiation. He's also shared his cancer story on his page. If you would want to see that video, go to Idris Salam on Facebook and watch that video if you want to really get to know who he is. But we're going to keep him lifted in prayer. So you might see him in and out, but that's okay because he's still here. And we're going to, support our brother as by.
Yes, we like you, Bosco.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, man. There's a fight you can win.
Thank you, Lamont. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Tasia. It was a couple people whoever shared because I see a lot of shares on Facebook. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on next week, but we're gonna be here. Again, thank y'all. And we out.
We love you.
Peace.